Hey, it's a little bit boring right now. Would you mind if I played some music?
I guess so. Just don't play anything trash.
Don't worry, my playlist is fire. Just listen. See? Pretty lit, isn't it?
I can't believe I ever doubted you. This is amazing!
Have you ever listened to a song and just thought to yourself, damn, that could be in both a good way or a bad way? The good times make you so happy listening to a great song, while the bad times make you want to rip your ears off. Music means a lot to people and can help you through difficult times or remind you of great memories to feel nostalgic. And just as mainstream music means so many to many people, video game music does the exact same thing. Video game music doesn't get nearly the recognition it deserves as one of the best mediums contributing to a memorable experience. It's just the same as the music in a movie. Iconic films like Star Wars, Jurassic Park, Rocky, and my favorite trilogy ever, Lord of the Rings, have songs that just scream perfection, and they wouldn't be the same without them. Music makes such a big difference, and the right themes make movies even more incredible. Just imagine if the movie Gladiator had the soundtrack from Frozen. I would let it go. Straight into the fucking trash. This is exactly the same for video games, and even more in some cases. Just picture your favorite video game of all time. I guarantee you can immediately think of at least one song that made that game so memorable to the point that it became your favorite game. From a main title theme, to starting area themes, overworld, boss battles, credits, and everything in between, games can have such a large variety of music most other mediums can't even fathom of reaching. Games just don't get the recognition they deserve because video games are seen as something for kids to play. But anyone who says that hasn't paid attention to the gaming community in like 20 years. They probably still think it's all little kids playing Animal Crossing with people in their 20s playing Call of Duty, when really it's the opposite. Music can change the way you view a game and can make it go from good to great and even outstanding if it's that good. So today, let's just have some fun looking at some video game themes that fit their games perfectly and why. Let's start by talking about title themes. This is likely the very first thing you will hear when you start up a game and will stick in your mind forever. And we all know one of my favorite songs ever is the main theme of my favorite game. Ballad of the Goddess is a brilliant song, we can all agree on that, but I do not believe it is the most memorable title theme for a game. That should mean a lot to you because you've all seen me literally shit on other games just to bring Skyward Sword up. I love this game, but not everyone does or has even played it. But a game nearly everyone has played with an opening more iconic than maybe anything ever to exist, very few if any game can ever top this.
It's me, Mario!
This is how you start a game. I know I'm a little on the younger side, being only 22, almost 23, but this is by far way more memorable to me than the original Super Mario Bros. Overworld theme. Sure, that was the theme that really started it all, not counting Donkey Kong, but this was just a song that screamed we are in a new era with a bright and colorful 3D world and are in for a fun adventure unlike anything we've ever seen. It wasn't over the top with crazy instruments or vocals. That might be because it was in 1996 for a cartridge that has less storage than a fucking iPod, but they still made one of the greatest and most memorable title themes with such limited hardware. And although Super Mario 64 might be the most iconic, my personal favorite title theme from any game ever is one that not nearly as many people have heard. I'll give you a hint. It's not Zelda, not Final Fantasy VII, and not Banjo-Kazooie, which should narrow it down since I rave about those three all the damn time. So, what can it be? I don't think there has been one time I have listened to this theme and not either gotten goosebumps or teared up from how beautiful and perfect it fits this masterpiece of a game. There are very, and I mean very few games where I will turn on the game just to listen to the title theme, but this is one that I will never grow tired of. It starts off slow and peaceful to fit the peaceful life in Colony 9 at the beginning of the game, but builds and builds into an orchestral masterpiece to fit the grand story that is one of the best ever. There's even one specific cutscene this song plays in that is one of the most emotional and heart-wrenching moments I have ever seen, and I couldn't ask for a more perfect theme. I'm not going to go into any more detail because I don't want to spoil any story aspects. Also, I may or may not, but definitely am making a video on Xenoblade relatively soon, and I can save all my love for the game for then. Now, let's move on to starting areas. So the first area you get to explore, and oh my god, this is something that Pokemon consistently knocks out of the park. Every new game and region has a starting town theme that is so peaceful that makes you feel like you're just home. Returning to the starting town and hearing that theme again after everything makes you feel nostalgic, even if it's only been like 3 or 4 days since you started the game. As I'm writing this, I'm literally sitting here listening to all the starting town themes, and I honestly cannot tell you which one is the best. They are all that good. I would say it mostly comes down to personal preference because everyone is going to be biased to the first game, since that would be literally the first town theme they had heard in all of Pokemon, which is why I am severely biased to New Bark Town since my first game was Gold, but you can't go wrong with any generation. Except Gen 7, that just sounds like a random first route or city, not your home. While those are all great great themes to start a game with a nice story and adventure you'll remember for a long time. So let's take a quick detour and take a look at a different genre of gaming, racing games. And boy, do I have a franchise in mind with the best upbeat music to get you hyped for a race ever.
Mario Kart? Hell no! The best racing game ever, Sonic Riders.
What type of music do you think would fit a racing game? Fast-paced, exciting, instrumental music fitting whatever landscape the racetrack takes place on? Most racing games do this pretty well, but Sonic Riders is on a completely different level. I don't even need to say that much. In fact, I really only need to say 2 words: Sand Ruins. This is the peak and pinnacle of all racing music, and everything should strive to reach this level of perfection. As the last race of the World Grand Prix, you need a song to get you excited to win it all, and this song starts so quick with music perfectly fitting for a desert vibe. And then after 10 seconds of hype building, the song bursts into a full-on Egyptian rave party. I honest to God used to race on this track just for the sole purpose of listening to this song. The rest of the game's soundtrack is amazing, but this is just so heads and shoulders above any racing theme I've ever heard, and nothing compares. No song perfectly fits the racetrack and gets me as hyped for a race while keeping me as hyped throughout the race as Sand Ruins. The only other racing theme that even belongs in the same breath would be Mobius Strip from Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. But even though that's incredible and might have a better 10-second portion in the middle of the song, overall Sand Ruins is definitely better. Although Mobius Strip is really a boss theme if you think about it, and it's definitely not the best boss theme out there. There are so many boss themes from so many different genres of games, it's nearly impossible to pick just a singular one. You want a theme that intimidates you and makes you fear what you're fighting? Or how about a theme that encapsulates the ending of your journey with one final duel? Or maybe you just purely want the most fitting boss theme based on what it looks like and the type of fight. Now that is quite a bit easier to determine, even though I will still definitely piss some people off with my opinions. Now Zelda themes are consistently phenomenal, and I could sit here all day and tell you why Galactos and Demise have the best themes in the entire franchise, but I really need to lay off the Skyward Sword praise for like 10 minutes. But if you're looking for a purely intimidating boss theme, then let's stay in the Zelda franchise but look at the final boss for the game that came out right before Skyward Sword. Not that one, or that one. Yes, they're good, but just not as good as this. I remember facing this boss for the first time, hearing the theme, and immediately losing my shit. This is without a doubt the most intimidating boss theme I can think of. No gimmicks, no shenanigans, just a one-on-one duel with the King of Evil who has caused all the destruction in the world. Okay, there are a few shenanigans like making him loose with a fishing rod, but that's amazing, nobody can hate that. The build-up for this fight took nearly half a decade since the demo shown in 2000, and it was well worth the wait for the most intimidating and intense theme I have ever heard from a Zelda game. But if we're going to talk strictly about a hype and amazing final boss theme, then how can it not be Bowser's Inside Story? When this came out, you couldn't search on YouTube for longer than like 5 minutes before finding a video with this as background noise. They did not need to go this hard for a fucking Mario and Luigi game, but I'm glad they did because this is probably better than anything in a Paper Mario game, and goddamn do I love that series. Part of me doesn't even feel like this is a Mario theme because it's so out there, but I have heard more ridiculous Mario music, so it doesn't really bother me. But even with how great this song is, it's not the most fitting boss music I've ever heard. That goes to a song and game many of you probably haven't played, or at least haven't played in a very long time. May I introduce you to Cloud and Candy from Yoshi's Story. Yes, I know this is technically the music for every minor boss, but this fits Cloud and Candy so much more than any other boss in the game. The song is so goofy and fits the cutesy, happy vibe Yoshi always gives off, and I couldn't picture a more fitting song for his games. I mean, you're literally fighting a boss where the objective is to eat his cotton candy body to death. That might be the stupidest yet greatest idea I've ever heard. This song definitely gives off the vibe that the developers got high one night and someone was pitching the idea and everyone just looked around and said, why the fuck not? Now I know I said it was a lot easier to pick songs based solely on those smaller 3 categories of boss music, but I was lying. That was just to get more songs in the video. There is one song that encompasses all 3 types of boss music into one theme. That would of course be the final boss music for Final Fantasy VII, One Winged Angel. There are 2 versions of this song, the original and the remake, both of which are incredible, and it's really a personal preference on which is better. I love both for different reasons, but what I love about the remake is how the beginning really sounds like an alarm, basically warning you to run for your life because you're about to get killed. Plus the remake has so many phases that progressively get more and more intense, and with the chorus chanting Sephiroth, my god, it gives me chills every time. You don't even need a connection to the original to realize when you hear this song, shit is about to go down. Nothing can top this, unless they somehow remake it again for part 2 of the remake, which is possible since I did use it for a different fight than the original, but I have no idea how they can improve even more on perfection.
Boss themes are some of the best kind of video game music out there, but you know what kinds of themes will stick in your mind even more? The areas you explore and do random crap in to make the game last longer than 3 hours.
everyone knows me. I refuse to complete a game's story until I do a minimum of like 90% of the game's side quests and explore the world to its fullest. But just running around, viewing the beautiful scenery, and taking my time to fully appreciate everything the game is giving me makes the game more memorable. There are multiple themes from games I think fit the bill of this style of music to a T, but all in different ways. The first is without a doubt The Forest of Hope from Pikmin. This is such a peaceful and chill song that makes traversing the foreign worlds with weird walking characters much more reasonable. Although it really does not fit the fear I feel when a giant Bulborb chases after me trying to kill my children. Really does not fit the enemy attacks at all, but as an overworld theme exploring a vast forest of unknown, it's so damn good. But if you want a more upbeat song to give you that feeling of exploring a land you know nothing about, then let's go back to that Zelda game I mentioned earlier. Not that one. Spirit Tracks has the best overworld theme of any Zelda game ever, and I will die on this hill, nothing can change my mind. Maybe you prefer Termina Field, or Hyrule Field, or the Sky, or Breath of the Wild's overworld, said no one ever. After riding on a horse, riding in a boat seemed like a weird change, but I don't think anyone ever thought Link riding in a train would be a real selling point for a main Zelda game. Anyone who complains about this game having a train has never played it because it's worth it just to listen to this song alone. All I'm saying is Breath of the Wild 2 better have a subway station with a remaster of this theme if it really wants to be the best Zelda game ever. Okay, and now it's time for my hourly rant on how Gar Plains wipes the floor with literally every other open area theme to ever exist. Xenoblade was already a pretty open game with the first few areas of the game, but stepping onto the Bionis' knee, seeing the vast grassy plains unlike anything you may have ever seen, and hearing this beautiful song will literally make you never want to leave, until you accidentally get attacked by any of the 50 enemies that are 5 times your level, which will make you contemplate life. This is just like the title theme. I could sit here for hours and listen to it on a repeat and I would never get mad. Buy the definitive edition, reach this point in the game, and I dare you to progress the story. You will not be able to do it. It is that damn good.
There's 2 more types of video game music I want to touch on because I just feel like they make you way more emotionally invested into the games that you're playing. Those would be romance and sad themes. You know, those songs to make even the manliest of men like me cry. Real men cry.
Let's start with romance because we don't need to cry yet. Romance music doesn't immediately make a gaming relationship great. Obviously, the two characters need good chemistry and development between them to make it believable. I mean, sometimes you really don't need it. Mario and Peach have been the face of Nintendo relationships for years, even though she's a princess while he's a fat plumber, and they don't share more than like 10 lines of dialogue between every game they've been in since 1985. Also, she's never even given him more than a kiss on the cheek while constantly friend-zoning him. Mario really needs to move on. But going back to romances that actually make sense, this is another topic I will never budge on. Link and Zelda in Skyward Sword have by far the best chemistry in any Zelda game and clearly should be together, while other games are no more than Link saving her because she's a princess and society always think the hero and the princess should be together. No, that's not how it always works. Just look at Mario again. Link and Zelda actually share a connection starting from when they were kids, and they literally have a song titled Romance in the Air. If that doesn't hit the nail on the head for two childhood friends who clearly have feelings for each other living on a floating island in the sky, I just don't know what does. Plus, the song actually just legitimately fits so well. Hearing the song puts a smile on my face and just gives off that blissful feeling of young love. Very few games can reach that level of connection between characters with music that ties their relationship together so well. But one game can, Xenoblade again. I may ship Link and Zelda together in Skyward Sword harder than anyone has any right to, but my god, I adore Shulk and Fiora's relationship. I'm just gonna say this right now, and I will say it again when I finally do review the game, but Fiora is literally my wife, and I will not accept any slander on her name. The song is so beautiful and keeps the peaceful vibe of Colony 9 while giving the romance and close bond the two friends have. There are multiple songs that fit the relationship between the two, so really pick any of them, they are all amazing. Oh yeah, but we were gonna talk about music that has either made me cry or almost cry, right? Well, good thing we're talking about Xenoblade, because oh boy, the sorrow theme that plays multiple times throughout the game is so beautiful, yet I can't hear it without getting upset. It's for a very specific reason that happens early on in the game with the first time you hear it, but I said I'm not going to spoil anything, so I will not go into any more detail. Another that makes me feel almost the same way is the theme Unfulfilled from Fire Emblem Three Houses. This might be my favorite song in the whole game, not because it's the most extravagant or impressive theme in the game, but because it's the most fitting and most meaningful. No matter which route and house you play through the game with, this song will hit you in such an emotional way. And the best part is the motion is completely different based on which route you took. Claude keeps you grounded and looking forward to a positive future. Dimitri makes me feel like I failed him and caused his crazed downfall. And Edelgard's fits so well as either a union of former friends become sworn enemies knowing they must kill each other, or close partners reuniting to continue their goal of bringing peace to the world. Sure, their peace is starting an entire war to basically end religion, but can you really blame them when Rhea exists? But if you really do want a song that will make me cry every time I hear it, there are 3 of them, and I will only mention them for a second because I do not want to cry while editing this video. 1. Aerith's theme from Final Fantasy VII. Not gonna go into any detail, but if you know, you know. 2. I Don't Want to Say Goodbye from Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time/Darkness/Sky. Having to leave your best friend after saving the world and everything you've been through while he/she cries saying they can't go on without you? That's pretty tough. And 3. Fee's Farewell. Come on, it's my favorite game of all time, and after they made her so goddamn annoying throughout the entire game, they finally gave her a developing personality showing how much she truly cared for Link just for her to leave and never see her again. Yes, I love this game, but I will never forgive Nintendo for making me go through this. By the way, yes, I did also cry when the Master Sword made Fee sound in Breath of the Wild. If we ever get an HD remaster of this game, I honestly am not sure how I will survive.
Music will always leave an everlasting impression on a game and will make the memories last a lifetime. I mean, why do you think Skyward Sword is my favorite game of all time? It gave me my own personal theme music when I go to talk to girls. Hey girl, how you do?